friendo? Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So, if you guys remember a couple days ago here at WrestleJuice, I talked about that big rumor that dropped on Tuesday night that WWE had sold their company to the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Oh boy. Well, thank God that rumor ended up being exactly just that, a rumor. Now, we're not out of the woods quite yet because that still could happen, but for right now, it seems to be that WWE is actively pursuing somebody to buy their company. And interestingly, one of the names that's been thrown about as being interested in purchasing WWE is the Khan family. No, not Nick Khan. I don't know that he has a family, although you'd assume he does. I'm talking about Tony Khan and Shad Khan, aka owners of AEW. So with all this information, I thought it would be fun for entertainment purposes only, because I don't really know a lot about business stuff. We would take a look at who's going to buy WWE. Look at this awesome PowerPoint presentation I put together in Photoshop. It's not actually PowerPoint, it's Photoshop. So I got this divvied up into 3 categories: likely, maybe, and no chance in hell is this going to happen. And I thought it'd be interesting taking a look at a couple different factors as to who could potentially or not potentially buy WWE. Let's go ahead and start off with an easy one, and we're going to go with Warner Brothers Discovery. They're going to go in the no chance in hell that they're going to buy WWE category. Why? Because they are neck deep in debt. They're trying desperately to get out of it. Apparently, they are making some inroads into that. I saw an article the other day that said that Wall Street had upgraded Warner Brothers Discovery to a buy because they've been doing really good at the cost-cutting thing. But that sort of is the thing. They've been cutting costs. They're not going to spend $7 to $10 billion on the WWE right now, especially because on their programming, they already have AEW. Let's talk about AEW. Why don't we? Let's talk about the Khan family. So as much as people, AEW sweaties and stands alike, would love to think that AEW would purchase WWE and we'd get that moment where Tony Khan says, you know, the name on the contract says Khan. Tony Khan, he said, I've got WWE. Who should I bring in? Big Papa Pump? Booker T? Roman Reigns? So, anyways, let me get back to it. The Khan family, I'll be honest with you, I don't see it for a couple reasons. Number one, they already have a wrestling company. They actually have 2 of them. They got AEW and they got Ring of Honor. The Khan family is only actually worth about $11 billion, so they would also need outside financing to do this. Not to say that's not a possibility. That would be a possibility, but I just don't see it happening. There's the idea that Vince McMahon wouldn't sell to his competitor. I kind of feel like Vince McMahon is going to be probably forced into selling to whomever ponies up the largest amount of money. Why? Because if he doesn't, his shareholders can sue him for not, keeping their best interests at heart, for not pursuing the best, for not fulfilling his fiduciary responsibility. That's the term that I was looking for. And I kind of feel like with the Khans, they already have a wrestling company. What do they need with the WWE? I know Tony Khan, he's got sort of a unique insight into pro wrestling, but I just don't see it happening. They don't have enough. They're going to have to find outside resources. Let's talk about another company that would also probably need some outside resources. And so I'll put them sort of between maybe and no chance right here. Endeavor. I'm going to go with Endeavor as like a not likely. So Endeavor owns UFC. So they do have some insight as to what exactly it takes to run a sports company with an entertainment slant to it. I mean, all sports companies have the entertainment slant to them because that's how you do it. UFC and WWE has some, I guess, fan crossover. You could do some synergy there. WWE wrestlers and UFC wrestlers will often interact. You've seen some of that here and there. Endeavor, they're worth about $11 billion right now, about the same as the Khan family. So they might need some additional financing as well, which is fine. They would probably actually be pretty well suited to get that extra financing to structure a deal to get WWE done. Plus, it's been said by multiple outlets that Endeavor might be interested in something like the WWE, that they'd like to have that in their portfolio. So I'd put Endeavor not quite maybe, but also not quite no chance, sort of hovering in between them. I didn't add additional categories because I didn't think I would need them. But now that I think about Endeavor, it seems like I might. Let's go ahead and move on to another company that I feel like there's no chance of it happening, not because they couldn't afford it, but I'm going to talk about Netflix. I'm going to put Netflix down here in the no chance department because Netflix, although they have a market cap of about $146 billion, that's how much they're worth. You take the number of shares that they have sort of available, and then you take the actual share price, their stock price, you multiply that, and that's what you get with your market cap. So that's sort of what a company is worth. That's what they're valued at, essentially, kind of. They're sort of two different things, but for the purposes of entertainment here, that's what it is, right? Netflix is a big company. They got a $146 billion market cap, so they would be able to afford WWE. But then you look at what Netflix does. Do they really want WWE? They haven't really dived, from what I understand, into live sports yet, although that's always been a rumor with Netflix. So it's possible that they'd want to do that. I know Netflix, they've come on kind of hard times lately relative to being a company that's worth $146 billion. They've been losing subscribers. And so maybe this would be a great way to bring more subscribers over. Certainly it's worked for Peacock. But so far there hasn't been any indication that Netflix would be interested in WWE. So I kind of just don't think it's going to happen. Their name hasn't been bandied about. There's been no information about Nick Khan meeting with them. So I just don't really see it happening. But I guess anything's possible. But for right now, I'm going to put them here at no chance. They're certainly above Warner Brothers Discovery. But yeah, there you go. All right, let's focus on some maybes, like some potentially. So the ESPN has been sort of bandied about as a name, as somebody that the head of ESPN, Nick Khan, apparently has taken a meeting with the head of ESPN recently. Of course, ESPN is actually a subsidiary. It's a division of Disney. So you sort of put these hand in hand. So Disney's actually worth about 182. Their market cap anyways is like 182 billion. They could totally, obviously afford WWE. They have a whole litany of networks on cable and actual networks that they could put WWE on. SmackDown could move from Fox to ABC. Raw could move from USA to ESPN and maintain the same number of households, maybe even more by doing those moves. Disney has a ton of divisions and properties and acquisitions, ESPN, of course, being first and foremost. So if ESPN/Disney wanted WWE, they could pony up a lot of money. Certainly $7 to $10 billion would not be difficult for that if they wanted WWE. So I think they're definitely in the maybe category here. They'd be like a strong maybe. So I'll put Disney/ESPN up here. But yeah, Disney owns ESPN, so they're kind of the same thing. So let's go ahead and move on here to the likelies. Nah, we'll do another maybe. There's one more maybe here. There's one more maybe. And this one hasn't really been bandied about as like an actual. I don't think Nick Khan has actually taken any meetings here with Amazon, but Amazon is an interesting suitor because Amazon has in fact been in the live sports business recently. They cut a huge deal with the NFL to put Thursday Night Football on Amazon. Although, if I'm not mistaken, somebody might have swooped that. No, I think it was Sunday Night Football was swooped by somebody else. Anyways, regardless, Amazon could totally buy WWE. Amazon right now is worth $971 billion. That's their market cap. That is an obscene amount of money. So they clearly could buy WWE easily. They could probably outbid everybody on here and not even sweat it. They could probably outbid everybody on here and then some, because they are a company that is worth a lot of money. I mean, Jeff Bezos himself could how much is Bezos worth? I mean, is it just the same as Amazon? Let's see here. Hold on. I kind of want to find this out now. How much is Jeff Bezos worth? He's worth $118 billion. So Jeff Bezos himself, I should have just put Jeff Bezos on here, to be honest with you. So yeah, Amazon is a maybe. There just hasn't been any real like chatter about Amazon being a suitor for WWE. But man, if they wanted WWE, they could easily afford that. They could throw, I mean, dude, Jeff Bezos could double up that 10 million and probably make it back within a couple days. Somebody really needs to talk to him about that. I wonder if Bezos is a wrestling fan. Anyways, let's go to the two likeliest candidates here. And it's pretty obvious. It's Comcast and it's the Saudis. Saudis have in their public investment fund $620 billion. That's why they've been able to spend so much money on so many things with this whole sports washing thing. They've got a ton of money. Comcast, owners of NBC Universal, they are currently worth, where are they? Comcast, $167 billion. And they have a long-standing relationship, of course, with WWE. WWE product is on Peacock. All these streaming services are trying desperately to hold on to subscribers, and they understand that a lot of people would flock Peacock if WWE went to a different place. They probably really want WWE. I would love for this to happen. I think it'd be great. And then there's the Saudi Public Investment Fund. I hope this doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't happen. They could easily double up anybody's offer on here. They would also let Vince McMahon run the company. I have no doubt of that. And the company would be taken private. So, yeah, that's sort of what I think the hierarchy, the power rank, if you will, of who's going to buy WWE is going to be. I mean, could it be a dark horse like, the Khan family? That'd be really interesting. That'd be kind of fun. I'm not sure it'd be great for the world of wrestling, having one company control all wrestling. And Tony Khan trying to book all of WWE would be a mess. What would happen? Would Triple H then work for the Khan family? Would he be interested in that? I mean, given that Triple H would probably make out of this a shit ton of money, I don't know. But I have a sneaking suspicion, and maybe this is just myself preparing for the worst. I have a really bad feeling that that rumor that happened on Tuesday night was legit. And when I say legit, I mean Vince McMahon really is trying to push. What I think is happening right now, and again, this is my own speculation. I was wrong when I said that I was speculating on Wednesday morning. I felt there was going to be an announcement made, and there wasn't. What I feel like is happening now is the Saudis probably offered Vince McMahon a shit ton of money. He has their amount, right? But because there are shareholders involved, you got to make sure that everybody else gets to pitch how much they would, gets to bid on the company and say, well, this is how much we'd be interested in. This is what the terms of the deal would be. So you got to do, legally, you have to do, I guess it's not really due diligence, but you got to make sure that everybody gets their offers in so that the shareholders understand that you fulfilled your fiduciary responsibility and you got them the best deal. Unfortunately, because the Saudi Public Investment Fund has a shit ton of money, it seems likely that they would be able to and would have no problem outbid everybody. That's probably what they would do. They'd probably just outbid everybody. And then in that situation, Vince McMahon would probably be forced, and he wouldn't have to be forced, he'd be really happy to do it, to sell to the Saudi Public Investment Fund. That's just my gut feeling. Maybe that's just preparing for the worst. I don't know. But that's what I'm thinking right now. That's my pure speculation. I hope Comcast swoops in and takes over the company. I think that'd be great. Disney, ESPN, the Khan family. I'll be honest with you. Anybody here, any of them would be better than the Public Investment Fund. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, check out this video over here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it.